Filming does not have the word law. TV preachers want you to think you have to give them money because the law of God said so. So let's read who was to get it. For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham, returning from the slaughter of the kings, and blessed him, to whom also Abraham giveth a tenth part of all, first being by interpretation kings of righteousness, and after that also king of Salem, which is king of peace, without father, without mother, without descendant, having neither beginning of days nor the end of life, but made like unto the Son of God, abideth a priest continually. Now consider how great this man was, unto whom even the poor rich Abraham gave the tenth of the spoils. And verily, they that are of the son of Levi, who receive the office of the priesthood, having a commandment to take tithes of the people according to the law, that is, of their brethren, through they came out of the loins of Abraham. But he, whose descendant is not counted from them, receiveth tithes of Abraham, and blessed him that had the promise. Did you get it? Just the Levites. Is there any of those TV preachers Levites? Abraham gave to Melchizedek his tithes, but do we have anyone like that now? And as I may so say, Levi also, who receiveth tithes, paid tithes in Abraham, for he was yet in the loins of his father, when Melchizedek met him. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, what further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek, and not be called after the order of Aaron? For the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity a change also of the law. So they took what was on Abraham's heart and changed the law. I am not saying don't give money to the Creator God said to, but most of these places get government money and they forget why they started this quest, and must don't tell you of Israel today. Melchizedek is a type of Christ. We are to give to him. If you need help on this, I will tell you, go to your Father in heaven, and he can do a better job than me. And it is yet more evident for that after the assimilating of Melchizedek, there arise another priest, who is made not after the law of the carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life. For he testifieth, Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. For there is verily a disseminating of the commandment going before the wickedness and the unprofitableness thereof. For the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by which we draw nigh unto God. See, man's law is not perfect, but you can get any more perfect than God's law. The reason why preachers made themselves Levites was for the money, and we need to see. Wherefore, he is able also to save them to the uttermost that come unto God by him, seeing he ever liveth to make intercession for them. For such a high priest became us, who is holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, and made higher than the heavens, who needeth not daily, as those high priests, to offer up sacrifice, first for his own sins and then for this people. For this he did once, when he offered up himself. For the law maketh man high priest, which hath infirmities, but the word of the oath, which was since the law, maketh the Son, who is considered evermore. Jesus has no infirmities, but man's heart go for what God's law can do for them. You are saying, what? But I should give. Then give. But make sure who it is. If Christ was here, he would not need it. For if we were on earth, he should not be a priest, seeing that there are priests that offer gifts according to the law, who serve unto the example and shadows of heavenly things, as Moses was abolished of God when he was about to make the tabernacle. For see, saith he, that thou makest all things according to the pattern shown to thee in the mount. God does have people here to do his will. Just be careful. You see, God's law is his word, and I don't see anyone putting it like I do. Precept of the word. Whereupon neither the First Testament was dedicated without blood. For when Moses had spoken every precept to all the people according to the law, he took the blood of calves and of goats, with water and scarlet wool and hyssop, and sprinkled both the book and all the people, saying, This is the blood of the testament which God hath enjoined unto you. So this book King Jesus visualized is the sure word of God. It was the blood that made it forgivable and readable. And almost all things are by the law pured with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission. The blood of Christ is worth more than money or anything on this earth, which will burn at its time. People with a good heart has a shadow of good things when they give money. For the law, having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of the thing, can never, with those sacrifices which they offered year by year continually, make the comers thereunto perfect. This book is too big not to look at the subject by itself. Then said I, Lo, I come in a volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O God. Above, when he said, Sacrifice and offering, and burnt offering, and offering for sin, thou wouldest not, neither hast thou pleasure therein, which are offered by the law. Then said he, Lo, I come to do thy will, O God. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second. And gave us a better law, because he seen today's way of money, and the people who didn't like the law that Moses gave will die by the words of the witness of this book. He that despises Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Of how much sorer punishment, suppose ye, shall he be the worthy, who hath trodden under foot of the Son of God, and hath counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing, and hath done despised unto the Spirit of grace. Don't this make you think, I need to make sure I don't give to help evil out? Think before we do. Make yourself ready for the witnesses against you. Jesus was the offering. He never did take anything to be offered to the Levites. freedom, pardon, deliverance, forgiveness, liberty, remission. Remission on the internet, the cancellation of a debt, charge, or penalty. Remission defined a period in the course of a disease when symptoms become less severe. I see they took the word and changed it into a disease word to make what Jesus did of no effect.